Now, with our worked examples, one thing that I'll definitely encourage you is to write down the total number of trials as a separate thing off to the side. That way you can actually focus on this when you need it, and you look at the data separately too. Okay, so we've got a spinner. We might have some chunks maybe like this. So one's going to have 1, one's going to have 2, one's going to have 3, and one's going to have 4. So basically we have a spinner that's sectioned up into 4 parts. And we have spun it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So that is our number of trials. Let's include that one up here. So this is the experimental data we've actually gotten out of it. We have some questions that are actually to do with this particular data set and also to do with complementary events. So the first one we've got here, we're figuring out the experimental probability of getting a 1. So how many 1s did we have in this data set? So I've highlighted them just ahead of time. A good thing to do, circle, highlight, underline, anything to show where things are is really, really helpful. So I've got the number 1 4 times here. So the number of times that event has occurred in our experiment is 4. And remember I said our total number of trials was 10. So 4 over 10 would be my answer. The last thing you need to check is if you need to simplify it. I can actually simplify this, and I can go into 2 over 5. Once you can't simplify it any further, you can move on. Next question, what is the experimental probability of getting an even number? So even numbers are things like 2 or 4 in this case. So I have 1, 2, 3 of those that have actually occurred in my total number of trials, which was 10. So that is my experimental probability. Make sure as well that you do these little EX next to the big P and then your event in brackets with an equal sign to make sure that you're following the proper notation. Next one, we are finding out the expected number. So we're kind of scaling the experiment up. Based on our current data, we want to know what we would expect to get if instead of spinning it 10 times, we have now spun it 600 times. So we need the experimental probability, which was up here, for getting 1, which we can substitute straight in as 2 over 5. And then we multiply it by the number of times that we want to have a number for. Okay, so we multiply by a number of trials to see what we would actually expect. So again, you do the exact same thing, and once I have multiplied that out, I end up with 240. So that means I should see 1 turn up in my 600 times of with the spinner going around. I would assume that, or I would expect, sorry, that 1 would show up at least 240 times based on my current information. Last little bit we have here is complementary events. So the complementary event of getting a 2. Complementary means not, okay? So you're looking at the event, so the complementary event of getting a 2 is not getting a 2. So it's basically everything but that specific event. So not getting a 2 will be your complementary event for that one. Next one, now we've done a survey. We've got color of 100 cars, so our total number of cars is 100. Again, keep track of how many you have in total. Makes your life a lot easier. And we have a whole lot of colors here. We've got red, we've got black, white, blue, purple, and green. And we are figuring out some things based on that. So first one we have, experimental probability that a random chosen car out of this data set is blue. So we need to see how many were blue. So I can see here, for blue I had 20. So 20 cars out of my total, which was 100, gives me 20 over 100. So basically, I can randomly pick a car out of this, and it's going to be 2 over 10. So we can simplify this, so let's keep going. So 2 over 10 I can simplify it a little bit further to 1 over 5. So there is a 1/5 of a chance that I will get, so 1 in 5 chance that I will get a blue car if I just picked it out randomly. Next one we have experimental probability that a random chosen car is white or green. Remember when we have this word or, it means I add both of these together to see the total number. So if I'm adding those together, I can see that I have for my white here is 25 and my green was 7. So if I add, and I'll show you all this, 25 plus 7 over my total, which was 100 cars, I end up with 32 over 100. Again, that's my probability, but I need to simplify if I can. And I can, using your calculator, you can do this as well. And you end up with 8 over 25 as your answer. Next one, based on the experiment. So based on the data we have, how many cars would you expect to see in the shopping centre car park if there were 3,000 cars? So now what we're doing is we're scaling it up. So 3,000 cars, that's the number of trials now that we are now multiplying it by. And we had our experimental probability for our blue car, which was 1 in 5. So once we multiply that out, we actually end up with 600. So 600 blue cars is what we should expect. Okay? So we should expect 600 blue cars out of those 3,000. Last one for this. We have complementary events again. So if red or purple is an event, so red or purple is an event, what is its complementary event? I'm not going to list everything else that it could possibly be, okay? So instead, so the complementary event is not red or purple. And that way it makes it much easier to figure out what my other options are. Because if I had another one later, and maybe it's a different color car, because I don't think there's black in there, it still falls under all of these categories if I write that. Okay, hopping onto your questions.